Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with F1 Fantasy. Now I was so excited to jump back in with the league ready for today. You know, obviously Jamie and I have been doing some of the F1 podcasts over the summer break. Obviously there wasn't really a lot I could do that made any sense with the F1 Fantasy series. So I thought we'll just leave it. We'll have a great race at Belgium and then we'll come back to it. And of course, that didn't happen. We didn't get a great race at Belgium, so this is our F1 Fantasy, pretty much entirely based off qualifying at the end of the day there. Apart from Sergio Perez, who, despite qualifying pretty mediocrely anyway, if I remember correctly, then managed to still screw us, despite there being two not even racing laps over the course of the weekend. Of course, Jamie and I will get into all our thoughts and feelings from the Belgian Grand Prix in a video going live tomorrow, so make sure you do get yourself subscribed if you aren't already, if you want to check that one out as well. I can assure you now that one is going to be very, very spicy as well then. So today, yeah, we're going to do a pretty quick recap of the Belgian Grand Prix in terms of our fancy team. Now, 112 points actually isn't as bad as I thought we'd do over the course of the weekend there. Verstappen with 49 there. Lando Norris turboed, got 14. Probably, yeah, I mean, we shouldn't have turboed him. We should have turboed Charles Leclerc at this stage of the year there. Charles Leclerc, again, scored 14. So there was 14, well, 7 more points available for us if we turboed Charles Leclerc rather than Lando Norris there. Sergio Perez, -2, you hate to see that as well at this stage of the campaign, and Nicholas Latifi as well with 7 points there. McLaren scoring us 30 as well, so they did still come in clutch. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo having, well, I would say a good weekend there. Had an okay qualifying once Lando binned it, because it would have been embarrassing if Lando had been on pole and he would have ended up about a second and a half of the pace there. And then, of course, no racing meant that he managed to finish P4 at the end of the day there. I'm gutted we didn't put Russell in our roster as well there. But I think, you know, this weekend, I can't imagine there were too many massive hitters unless someone mega drives Verstappen or anything like that. I don't think really anyone had much of an opportunity to do much over the course of the weekend there. So let's have a look then. What was the highest score from the Grand Prix weekend there? If we have a look from Belgium, according to this, race week hasn't finished yet, according to this. So we don't actually know who did best overall at the end of the league there. According to this, it was this gentleman, Sir Hamilton by Tom D. 160 points, so actually we did pretty well there at the end of the day, but he had Verstappen, Red Bull, Sainz, Ocon, Vettel and Lando Norris there, so definitely could have scored better had this week gone a little bit better for him as well. But yeah, we did surprisingly well actually, accidentally it must be added, at the end of the Grand Prix weekend there. In terms, though, of our league, up obviously over the 400 members, so a massive thank you to all of you guys. Still sat 211th so far at the end of the weekend there, but in terms of the weekend, no, we've still got no point scores at the moment there. Overall, though, in the league, it is still, I think, Omaraguz who leads the way there on 2,220 points as well. Josh G in P2 ahead of Barak in P3 as well, with Damjan in P4. So, yeah, we didn't do too badly over the course of the week. Now, what I actually decided we'd do, because, of course, this weekend was such a disappointment for the league, is I decided I'd create 2 more teams and join the roster. Now, what I've done in the past is I've done one meme team where I pick the 5 teams or drivers that I expect to do the worst over the course of the year there. So we're going to go both Haas, we're going to go Giovinazzi, we're going to go Yuki Tsunoda, and we're going to go, not George Russell, sorry, I wanted to go Nicholas Latifi there. Not based on who will do worst in terms of points, but yeah, who will do worst in terms of overall there. And then we're going to go Haas as our team as well there. So we've got 40 million left in our budget as well there. We are going to turbo Nikita Mazepin as well for the rest of the year. So that is going to be our meme team roster all ready and sorted. So that should now also be in the league. There we go. So according to this, yeah, Belgium is still live. So whether we're going to get a race suddenly earlier on today by the time this video goes live, I'm not too sure. Then we're going to go our second roster. We're going to go a bit more experimental here. We're going to go with what I'm going to call the risky roster for the rest of the year there. So the drivers that don't often do well but when they do, can sometimes score big chunks of points as well there. So that is going to be Valtteri Bottas, that is going to be Sergio Perez straight away, get in my basket. We're also going to go Sebastian Vettel in there as well, leaving us with 43 million. Further down the roster, I think we're gonna go Pierre Gasly again. He's been pretty good over the course of the year there, and then we're also gonna go with Nicholas Latifi, leaving us with 25 million in the books as well. That we just can't quite afford a Red Bull there. So obviously we've already got McLaren in our other team, so we're gonna go with Ferrari for this one as well. So that is going to be our third team. And in terms of turbo, we're going to go Gasly, just so hopefully he can score some big points for us as well come the end of the year there. So we've now got two sort of interesting setup teams as well for the rest of the league. That takes us up obviously to 405 teams as well. But of course, heading though in towards the next Grand Prix, obviously, when we get to the Dutch Grand Prix this weekend, do I want to make any changes to the roster? Now, obviously, it's a high downforce circuit, so I'm wondering whether it's worth trying to put Lewis Hamilton back into the team there. Mercedes haven't been particularly great in terms of the high downforce stuff in recent weeks anyway there. I am, however, going to turbo do I turbo Charles Leclerc? No, Lando Norris was going to be really good anyway. Had obviously he not had that qualifying mishap there in the end. So I'm gonna... Oh no, we're going to get rid of Latifi though. We've got 0.1 million left in the books. Can we go with George Russell again? No. Oh, yes we can even. Sorry, Russell cheaper than Latifi there. So I'm going to put Russell back in the roster. You can see he's scored a lot more points now than his teammate. And I'm hoping obviously this mega podium that he scored at the weekend as well there is going to carry him through to the end of the year. Now I'm also, before I forget, we're going to take the gamble. We're going to use our second mega driver right now and put that on Max Verstappen there. I'm expecting big things from Red Bull this weekend. I'm expecting Verstappen. There's going to be nothing left to question down at Red Bull. They want to absolutely dominate this weekend. So I'm going to turbo... I'm going to keep Lando Norris turboed. I'm going to mega driver Max Verstappen as well there. So now we've got 3 rosters in the books ready for the second half of the year. Fingers crossed the Dutch Grand Prix is a whole lot better than the Belgian Grand Prix from last weekend. Obviously, like I said, I'm not going to dive into too much there just because obviously it was such a disappointing weekend. Hopefully, we can come back strong, ready next time round at the Dutch Grand Prix circuit. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. Let me know how your fantasy team did down in the comments below as well. And yeah, fingers crossed the Dutch Grand Prix this weekend is a bit more of a highlight. Get yourself subscribed. We'll be back tomorrow with the podcast. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in another video. A massive thank you for the continued support from our channel members, featuring The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aiden, Efstathios, Kato and Sean for their continued support on the channel. None of the videos would be possible without their support, and if you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you click the join button below.